Hello, Kitty Blue here. It is August the 2nd, and we are going to do another decluttering video. Yay! So in this video, what I'm going to do, I talked about it during my previous video of 15 years in the hobby. For years now, I've wanted to downsize my collection, so my husband was just like, well, why not cut it in half? And I'm just like, how can I get rid of half of my dolls? That's just crazy. But I do have a lot of dolls, and I'm going to take this challenge. Whether or not I succeed or fail, we shall see. You shall see. You're going to come on the journey with me. What I want to do, though, is I kind of want to have in my mind, like, certain things that I'm looking for, or not just like, oh, this doll brings me joy. I can't do the Marie Kondo method because, or KonMari method, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. It's Marie Kondo, and I think it's KonMari method. Although with my dolls, I mean, they do kind of spark a little bit more joy than like my clothes and things like that. But I'm going to try and do some different things or ask a few questions in my head. Originally, like a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, and I believe in one of my videos when I was like showing you how like I created a database for all my dolls. In one of the tabs of my database is actually me kind of like doing a point system for each doll. And the criteria for this was, how did it pose? These were all 1 through 5. So how did it pose was 1. Did it fit in is 2, which meaning does it fit? Is it a doll that fits into my main like characters or main collection that I started with? 3 is size. The one that's going to get scored 5 is MSD because that is the size I really love. 4 is color. So like any type of fantasy colors are going to get like a 4 or 5 depending on how much I like them. And like normal skin tones, or I shouldn't say normal, sorry. Lighter skin tones like white and what they call normal yellow, normal pink are going to get like a lower score, like 1 or 2, versus like a really gorgeous, like deep brown or something like that might get a 3, maybe even a 4 if I'm really, really love it a lot. Number 5 was price. So I did it in categories of like a price range. So anything under $200 gets 5 points. I think from 200, maybe 200 to 300 or 200 to 400 gets 4. And then, yeah, 1 is going to get the price point. Anything that's like over $1,000 is getting a 1 because it's just insane to spend that kind of money on a doll. But I've done it, and sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's like, eh. So that's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6 is going to be, is it a limited doll or can I get this doll again? Not just limited, but like if it's been discontinued too, it's going to get a higher score, like a 4 or a 5, versus if it's something that I can buy at any time, then it's going to get like kind of a lower score. 7 is how much I like the actual head sculpt, and possibly like the face up might be included in that head. And then 8 is going to be, the 8th point is the body. So whether or not I like the style of the body, the aesthetics of the body, for a total of 40 points. I do not have any dolls at this time that has 40 points. The dolls that have the most points are usually my Resin Soul dolls. There's a couple of them along here that are in custom colors and custom modifications and things like that. Those are ones that are in the 30-point range, as well as some of the other fantasy dolls that I have in fantasy colors. But yeah, so I'm also going to try, and when I go through looking at each doll and handling each doll, I'm also going to like, are they complete? How long have I had this doll? Is it complete? Does it still need a face up? Does it not have any clothes? I actually already see one doll right here that is naked. Oops. Sorry. I should totally like block that off. And I should warn that at the very beginning. There may be some doll nudity in here because he does not have clothes on. But yeah, if when I go doll to doll, does it have like things that still need to be done to it? Is it like complete? I would say 90% of my dolls are not complete. maybe lower than that. Maybe 80% of my dolls are not complete. A lot of them still don't have their proper wigs or clothing that I really had in mind for their character, things like that. Another thing that I could ask myself is, would I buy this again? And this one's going to be kind of tricky, but do I have similar items? So like when you're decluttering your house, similar items or like items or duplicate items is like completely different. Like, do you have like, do you need 5 tape measures in the house? Probably not. Maybe so. Depends on the tape measure, I guess, but I guess that might be not a very good example. But basically, if you have duplicates, do you really need that many of them, or do you just need 1 or 2 or something like that? With dolls, I don't have really duplicates, but I do have some dolls that are similar. Especially that's going to come into play in my smart dolls. All the smart dolls have the same bodies. The classic bodies have all the same classic bodies. They might have a different bust. And the pair bodies are all the same pair body. And actually, all of my pair dolls have the same bust, just a default bust. So they don't really have a different bust. But also, like the vinyl colors come into play too, like the color of the dolls and things like that. But when we get to the smart dolls, we'll kind of maybe try and narrow things down. I think another thing that I'm going to kind of have in the back of my head, and this kind of falls in the lines of whether or not the doll fits into my general, like, original idea of how I wanted my collection, is this a character that I want to introduce into my photo stories? Is this really like a doll that, is it just sitting there looking pretty? Which is fine. You can totally have dolls that sit there and look pretty. That is completely fine. Space-wise, definitely my smart dolls are running out of space because I do want to keep like the middle unit of my 3 shelves here. I do want to kind of keep that a little bit, not empty, but a little bit like, not as cluttered or not have as many things in it, because I need a staging area to like take pictures and stuff. So they're kind of all crowded into the rest of the shelves. So yeah, I don't know, because with those, yeah, once we get to the smart doll bookshelves, we'll see. So I think we'll just get started. I can't think of any other like different like things as far as like, what I'm looking at and why, deciding on which ones to get rid of. It's just very hard. I mean, I don't need to downsize any of them, I guess. But like I was saying in that video over the 15 years in the hobby, it can get very overwhelming having this many dolls, because I feel like it has kind of stopped me from being as creative with them as I was before. I was making a lot of clothes for the smart dolls and things like that, but now that I have so many, it's just kind of hard to like, oh, which doll should I like make clothes for, or who to put the new clothes on, and it's just, yeah, it can just be kind of chaotic. Same way with the resin dolls. went very crazy with them. There are actually some dolls that are on the shelf that I already know that I think I'm going to let go of. So, but they're there because I haven't had a chance to get them out of room and put them in boxes and take photos and stuff like that. So some of the decisions might be easier than others. It's just very hard. You'll probably see me like struggling in this. But yeah, we're going to give it a go. First of all, I'm going to actually do a like 10-minute kind of tidy up because there are like doll parts and clothing and just all kinds of stuff in random places and all over the place. So I kind of want to get them into a organized sort of way to where it'll be easier to kind of go through them and decide like what to do. So yes, we're going to start with that 10-minute kind of like, what did I just say? Tidy up a little bit, and it might be over 10 minutes. I'm going to try and do it really quick, but we'll just speed through that, and then we'll move on. So keep on watching. We'll get to the decluttering. I gotta set up the camera somewhere else and go from there. All right, first, like I said, what I'm going to do is going to just kind of tidy up a little bit. There are doll parts and just random things just all along here. Some heads, some bodies, just things all on the floor here. I just kind of want to, like I said, tidy up so that I have a little bit more room. I have this table here that I'm usually sitting at to do my doll videos. I will probably keep this in here to do this decluttering of my doll shelves, but I'm going to like kind of move it over to the side so it's a little bit out of the way. And then any dolls that I'm thinking about taking off of the shelves, I'm gonna have a table to be able to put them on instead of just stacking them randomly everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and try and see if we can kind of tidy this up a little bit in like 10-15 minutes. So here we go. These are doll wigs that need to go back in the closet. So I'm going to go put those away real quick. Doll bag plastic. These are some items that I had taken to that doll meet of mine that I was selling. So those need to go back downstairs to the sale pile. And this is definitely something that normally in decluttering videos they're gonna like go, no, this is a big no. But anything that needs to go downstairs with my sale stuff, I'm just going to shove in this bag. These are not sale stuff. This is the Adventure Bust. Sale stuff. Plastic baggies need to go downstairs. Uncut head cap. This is a cyber, not frame, cyber shell, and a frame that yeah, I need to put up for sale. Randy Smart Doll parts. Doing the cell thing. Yeah. what to do. This is a wig that I should have put in with the other wigs. I kind of don't want to do this. Random things. Feel like I'm just moving things around. This is another thing too. You're not supposed to like shuffle your clutter. But that's what I feel like doing. That's what I feel like I'm doing right now, because it will take too long for me to put this stuff away as I'm doing it. It'll be a 5-hour video. Vortex head. Oh my gosh, just such random things that should not be. Yay! The eyes that belong to a doll that I just got in. Trash. I do have 2 of my SD dolls sitting here. I'm actually going to leave them here because I don't have anywhere else to put them. Alright. Wig that I know I'm keeping. Dress that I know I'm keeping. I'm already like stopped. I'm already like overwhelmed by just all these tiny little pieces that are just everywhere. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. I'm gonna move these headless dolls over to my Smart Doll bookshelf here. Same with these heads. They don't belong over there. Glasses do not belong in here. I've already found 3 ink pens that don't need to belong in here. Multiple stands that are just everywhere. These are Volk's Dolphy Dream bodies that I'm not sure what to do with right now. This one does have a head. I've been back and forth about selling this. So I'm actually going to stick these over behind the camera because that's where all my Dolphys and stuff are, my Volk's dolls. All right. And these are like random shoes. I guess that I'm just going to throw away because some of these are deteriorated. I was like thinking about maybe like peeling off all the vinyl and like doing something different with these, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to do that. So yeah, I think I'm probably just going to throw these away, which is a shame, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Or I'm just going to throw all these shoes in this bag because all of these shoes are the same. there's something broken or damaged on them. And I haven't decided what to do with any of them, but they do not belong there. So now they're in here. All right. Antlers that actually belong onto one of my smart dolls. These are extra legs that went to a Vito doll, but these are going to be, I'm going to sell these, but I need to take pictures of them first, so I'm just going to put them on the table since that's where I'm going to put items that I'm possibly decluttering. And now I've got all this junk on the table that I said I was going to use to put things. So I'm going to do this off camera, just kind of get these things where they belong, and then we'll be back to start on these smart doll shelves. So stay tuned. We are back. I took a break after I did the little almost 10-minute tidy up. I took a break because I got stuck, I got overwhelmed, and I just had to step away. I was trying to figure out a way to narrow down kind of the criteria, I guess you would say, of what dolls to get rid of, what dolls to keep, things like that, what to declutter. And yeah, I was just overwhelmed, and I'm like, I can't do this. This is just too overwhelming. I know at the beginning of the video, I'm just like, 50%, you know, I'm going to get rid of 50% of my dolls. And that may not be very realistic. I don't know. I really wanted to find out. I really want to do this challenge. So I'm going to try to push through it and figure something out. It might be along the way, so you're definitely coming with me on the journey. I wanted to start with my smart dolls because they are, I don't know, they're the newest dolls that I started collecting, and it kind of went off the rails. Originally, I've mentioned this in a couple other videos. Originally, with my smart dolls, what I wanted to do was, I'm like, okay, I want to get one of each skin tone and a boy. So at that time, there was Milk, Cinnamon, Old Cocoa, New Cocoa, Crystal Cortex. Was that it? And Tea. So there were 6. And then I wanted a boy. So 7. Now there's gray, there's green, there's blue, there's black navy, there's pear. So yeah, it kind of went off rail. I didn't stick to that thing. So before I tried to downsize, and I did downsize a little bit of my collection maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. And I think I might do a similar thing. So what I'm thinking about doing is, instead of going shelf by shelf and just kind of looking at dolls and really, okay, back step. In the decluttering, a lot of the decluttering videos, it's like it's supposed to be kind of like a handle the item one time and that's it. So you pick up that item and make a decision on it, a quick decision on it. I think that works really well with other areas. But in my doll room, I have to come up with some kind of criteria. So I was originally going to start, and this is actually, I don't know, take like 20. Not really, not take 20, but I've gotten through this a couple of times. At first, I was like going to go shelf by shelf. And then I'm just like, well, okay, I should be like handling the dolls. So then I started just with the one doll, and I pulled it out, and I'm just like, well, okay, this is a blue doll. How many blue dolls do I actually have? And I'm like counting and everything. And then I'm like, well, maybe I don't need all these blue dolls. So it got me to thinking back to previously when I did this. What I did is I took all of the all of my milk dolls and put them together, took a photo, decided like if I wanted to keep them all, which ones I wanted to declutter, things like that. Did I want floating heads, you know, which I do actually have in the back here. You can see a bunch of floating heads. So I am going to go through those too. So I think when I did that, when I pulled all the colors together, it kind of does go with like some of the decluttering videos and stuff that you might have seen where, you know, take like items and like go through that, you know, all at once, or not all at once, but then go one by one. Like gather your like items and go one by one, because then you'll know that, okay, these are all the t-shirts that I have. You know, do I need 20 black t-shirts? I mean, you usually see me in black t-shirts, but they're like different prints on the front. So this is one of my zombie corn t-shirts, and I love my zombie corns. So it's like I probably have 20 black t-shirts, but not 20 like solid black t-shirts. So that's where it can kind of get tricky, is like they're not the same item. They're just similar kind of things. So I think if I go back to the way I did it before, pull all of, you know, the milk dolls together, cinnamon, tea, cocoa, and stuff like that, just so I can see what I have instead of like trying to look at this shelf, down here, up here, you know, all around. I'll get more of a sense of what I have and see if there's any more that I can declutter. Like I said, my original idea was 50%. So I guess the first thing I need to do off camera before I even start doing this is count how many dolls I have. And I don't like to do that. I do not like to count how many dolls I have because, yeah, that's overwhelming in itself. But at the same time, decluttering is overwhelming, but at the same time, having all of these dolls like just lining up on shelves is kind of a little overwhelming, and it's making me less likely to want to do anything in this room, because I'm just like, okay, well, there's a project, there's a project, there's a project, there's a project. There's like a million projects going on right here in my doll shelves. Anyway, back to the point and matter. Smart dolls. I'm going to take a couple of pictures and do some before and afters, probably just on Instagram or on Facebook. I might add it into the video if I can figure out a way to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to stop the camera, count how many dolls I have, or I can count along the way because I can have a piece of paper and pen. So I'm going to collect all of one color and put it in here, and then we'll see how we go. I guess realistically, if I was to downsize half of my collection, that's the question. Should it be half of the whole entire collection, or half of my smart dolls, half of my resin dolls? Good question. I'll have to think about that for not even I'll think about that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. A lot of these dolls might end up back on the shelf, so let's get started. I will see you back in a few minutes. All right, I have decided that I want to kind of show, I already started clearing the space off, so we're going to ignore that. But I kind of just wanted to go around, and even though this is in some of my other videos, I have a bunch of shelves of smart dolls. There is 4, 5, 6 dolls up there, 5 dolls there, 5 dolls here, 5 dolls on this shelf. You can't see her very well, she's in the dark. There's 2 pair dolls down there in the bottom, and one of my boy dolls. This is just random. Most of these are supposed to be prowess and anomaly, but there's some like heads kind of floating around there. A bunch of floating heads back there, these 2. And then we have a bunch of random dolls down here. As you can see, these are all kind of crammed together. This is kind of why I want to downsize a bit so they're not so crowded. So now that you've seen the whole space of what I'm going to be working with, I'm going to go ahead and start taking down all the milk dolls and putting them in this middle section and starting the declutter. Okay, so now we have all the milk dolls, all the milk items, I guess you would say, because I do have a couple floating heads down here in this video for my first decluttering of my smart dolls. So I think this might have made it maybe harder for me to decide, but we're going to try. So what I have right now is there are 3 milk boys over here. He is a custom head, Triclops head. That's Lelouch, and this is a custom this is a custom boy head too. And then we have Infinity, Valiant, Mirai, and Shiki. So 4 girls, and then she's going to be 5th. She's a custom doll, and this is 6th girl, and she is a custom Prowess head. She was a cinnamon head that I had them try and match milk, because milk Prowess does not exist, but I think milk Prowess would look amazing with purple whiskers. So that's how I had her. She's got the purple eyes and a CJ purple wig. Then I have 2 floating heads here. One is a girl, which is also another Prowess kind of design, and this is a boy head. Danny has posted that he is going to be re-releasing some milk girls and boys. So as it stands right now, I wouldn't really be able to get any, if money was a thing about oh, hey, I could sell some milk dolls because, milk doesn't exist any longer. So I might be able to get more money out of these guys. But that is not the case with these, because like I said, milk has been re-released, and yeah, that's just not the case, except for maybe Lelouch and Shiki. They might sell for a decent price because they are actual character dolls, not custom character dolls, licensed. That's the word I was looking for. They're actual licensed dolls. So those could possibly maybe go for a decent amount of money. But if I stick to my, half of my dolls, realistically, I should probably maybe get rid of half of these that are in this cubbyhole right here. Or I could kind of go through, the list that I did earlier. Hang on. Had to pause for a second, had to get my list. So in the first part of the video, I was naming off certain things, for my resin dolls, I was doing posing, if they fit in, size, color, and all that stuff. I'm totally skipping that with all my smart dolls because they're probably going to rate the same number. Obviously, the posing is really good with smart dolls. They're not as heavy as resin dolls, so they're kind of easier to pose. They don't fit into my normal collection at all, and they're completely the wrong size. I like MSD sizes more than SD sizes, but smart dolls are definitely the exception in my collection. I only have maybe 5 SD size resin dolls, and at least half of those I already know that I'm going to eventually sell. So yeah, price, they're, with the exception of a couple of them, they were around the same price, so price isn't really a big deal. Limited, I mean, milk used to be limited, so they kind of were, but now they're not anymore. Maybe some of the heads, I don't know if he's going to be re-releasing Infinity or not, or Valiant, but who knows? We'll see. Anyways, the other factors that I put down, are they complete? And would I buy this again? Do I have similar items? So are they complete? They are. They have wigs on, they have eyes in, they have clothes on, so they are technically complete. I really love custom dolls, so it's I really love dolls that look different than other dolls. So definitely this girl, Carousel, is definitely going to be one of the dolls that definitely stays. Milk Prowess, which like I said, is a cinnamon head. It was blushed to be close to milk, but it still has kind of a little bit of a orangish pinkish tone to it, so it still like has a kind of tone, but it's just a little bit darker than milk. Whereas, do I have another cinnamon head? Whereas like this is a cinnamon head, and I feel like it's definitely much more yellow or orange. If you see me swatting my hand here, there's a gnat or something floating around my room. Anyways, so now I did think about this a little bit off camera. So I have 3 boys and 6 milk girls. So if I was to be like, I'm going to get rid of half of my dolls. If I was being really strict with it and really like relentless and being like, okay, we're going to do this thing. First of all, I actually do believe that I will let go of these 2 custom heads that I had done. I really love my boy. I think he's really cute with all the freckles and stuff, but he's been a floating head for like over a year or so. I haven't put him on a body, and yeah, so I think he's probably going to be the first to go. He is made from a Cos head, and he is actually milk. And then this one is another cinnamon head, the one that's stamped to Danny Chew, and it's another cinnamon head to be made to look like milk, and it's a prowess. She's got kind of like a burgundy kind of whiskers. I think I might actually let that one go too. But we still have full-size dolls, and that's what takes up a lot of space. So, I love, like I said, I love my custom dolls. If I was to get rid of one of my boy dolls, like I said, I do have this head. So, I mean, I could have one of these 3 as a floating head and then sell the body with the custom head that I just dropped on the floor. So that is like one thing that I could do, is like get rid of one. Like if I could either get rid of one full doll, which might actually be Lelouch, because he does have a full set outfit. I never use his full set outfit, so I feel like I could potentially like maybe sell him as a full character, because he is discontinued. However, yeah, I'm not exactly sure because I do not have his wig, so he is not a full set. So it would just be him, the head, the body, and his clothing, not his wig. So I don't know how that would work as far as like price-wise, how much he would actually be worth anymore if it's not a complete set. But I can do that, or else I'll keep his head as a floating head and swap it maybe with my guy here. I don't know. I just, like I said, when they're like have a full body, they're like a full character. And I have like so many floating heads. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have like 15 floating heads in this room, and the majority of them I have not swapped onto a body. They just have been sitting there as a head. So it's very hard for me to decide on having floating heads because I feel like I'm never going to swap them. So this is so hard. I told you this was going to be very difficult, and this is going to be rambling for hours. Because we're already at 10 minutes. I should like narrow it down to like 10, 15 minutes per like section of dolls. All right, so we're going to do this real quick. Either he's going to go, or I'm going to keep his head and then sell the custom boy head with the body. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him off the shelf. And like I said, I might look how cute he looks with this long hair though. So yeah, he's going to be a maybe sell the full doll, but definitely if I don't sell the full doll, I'm going to keep the head and then sell the body with the floating head. So we got 2 milk boys. We're just gonna chill there. They're both custom. And we are left with 4, 5, 6 girls. If he re-releases milk, and if he does a prowess, I would be tempted to go ahead and like let her go. But I do really like the purple whiskers, and I don't know if he'll do purple whiskers or do some other color of whiskers. However, this is, you're gonna have to keep me in line here. If he releases milk prowess, she is gonna go. I could always like have them redo the whiskers purple, not Smart Doll per se, but an artist, have an artist redo her whiskers. So she's staying. She's definitely staying. I mean, she could maybe be a floating head, but I just love her to death. So she is definitely one of my favorites as far as custom. She is definitely staying because she was my first milk girl, Infinity. She was the first one that I saw that I'm like, I totally want her. I think she's cute. Oh, actually, that reminds me. So I had mentioned earlier that when I first originally wanted to get Smart Dolls, I was going to get one in each color, and I was going to get a boy. And also within that, I didn't want to get the same head sculpt because I wanted to get different head sculpts. However, Infinity and Valiant are the same head sculpts. And also Infinity and Liberty. Infinity, Valiant, and Liberty. Liberty has the same head sculpt, and she's my favorite one in Coco that I have in anime. So then I have obviously Shiki, which is a character, a licensed doll. And that's hard because like I can see maybe selling her because she is a licensed doll. She might go for a little bit more money. But if I like narrowed it down, so I'm definitely keeping these 2. Maybe she can be a floating head. Maybe I can just like narrow these down to one body. And then I could like get rid of that head. Oh, this head I think is going to go. So we're going to take that off the shelf. I don't want to just put it back here where you can't see it. So then we're left with the girls. Oh, if I was to narrow so out of these 4 girls, if I was to narrow it down to like, I need to get rid of 2, I think, and this makes me sad to say, I think Valiant and Mirai may be the ones to go because I really, really love Shiki's like face and her mouth and everything. I just love I think she's adorable. So I mean, she could be a floating head, so I could sell like her body and maybe her outfit. Although I do like some of the pieces of the outfit. I do like Smart Doll clothing. They're made really well. Valiant is so hard to me because when I originally started Smart Doll, I started off with I got Infinity, but I got a Valiant, I think, secondhand in milk. And then I'm like, oh, well, I don't have a Cinnamon doll yet, so maybe I'll get Valiant and Cinnamon because she got released in Cinnamon at that time. So I'm like, all right. But then I got Cinnamon and I like sold my milk, and I'm like, when I went back and looked at pictures like the side by side of the Cinnamon and milk, I really liked the milk better. And so I had to repurchase her and I sold the Cinnamon version. So I keep going back and forth on that. I did see that Valiant is now coming with this gorgeous purple wig on the website, so I'm so tempted. But if I was to be ruthless right now and get rid of 2 of them, it's going to be Mirai and Valiant. And then possibly at some point, maybe Prowess here. So we're going to go ahead and take these 2 off. This makes me sad. But we're being ruthless. Whether or not these go back on my shelf is another story. I'll do an update on that later. But yeah, so, and this is the original, like Mirai anniversary, I think, maybe. I can't remember, but she is in milk. And this lovely outfit, which I put this on her because one of the postcards has her in this, like the cinnamon version in this. And yeah, cool outfit, but I may end up selling the outfit too. I haven't decided. So we're going to pull those two off of the shelf. Valiant is so pretty. But yeah, she doesn't have the vitiligo on the, not vitiligo, I'm sorry. She doesn't have the birthmarks on her chest piece and chest piece and arm like the current Valiant does. So, yep. 2 girls, 1 boy have been sacrificed. The 2 floating heads. Not exactly half, but it cleared up some space. So I'm going to get these off the shelf and we're going to continue with cinnamon. All right, I have gathered up all of my cinnamon smart dolls. Before we get started, I forgot this lovely girl was on my shelf. She is actually a milk doll. I am definitely keeping her. She is a custom head. She is actually the Cortex. And this is a specific, cool character that I created. Because I didn't have parts to finish her, I decided not to finish her, and I just wanted her to have a robotic, forearm, the leg, and then I had somebody do a face up like this, so it's kind of like she got, something, rubbed off her skin on one side. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping her, but I wanted to show you because I'm like, oh hey, I forgot a milk doll on my shelf. So that's another milk doll added, but she's a custom doll. So I feel like she's different and she's worth keeping, and I don't think another head would work on her, and I wouldn't want to have her as a floating head because she works with that body. So on to cinnamon. As you can tell, I have a lot of cinnamon dolls. Yeah, this is where it definitely gets harder. Like I said, though, if I'm ruthless, and answer these questions, are they complete? So, obviously, these heads down here are not complete because they don't have a body. She's kind of in the way of all the other ones. They all have wigs, except for these 2. They did have wigs, but I've been doing different things in my doll room, and that's why they don't have wigs right now. I actually had that rainbow wig back there on her. So this is what I have working with now. 2 pair dolls. I don't know if he's going to do milk pair or not, and I'm not sure whether or not I want to do the whole one of each color in pair as well. So because all the pair dolls right now, all the semi-real heads are all the same sculpt, and all the anime heads are all the same sculpt. So going back to that, getting different heads and stuff, it's just not, it just doesn't work because, like I said, there's only one of each. You can use other smart doll heads to put on the pair bodies if you'd like, which you'll see later because I still have one of my prowess heads on a pair body. But anyways, so I have 2 pair cinnamon girls. I definitely don't need 2 pair cinnamon girls. So I can either, this is my decisions for them. So we're going to start with them since they're the only pair ones. Since there's 2, I don't need 2. So I can either have a floating head and sell the body, or I can sell the full doll. I'm more leaning towards, and do I want anime or do I want semi-real? So my other thought was okay, maybe my pair dolls should be semi-real, and then I could get rid of all the semi-real classic dolls, and it would make it so much easier, right? But then, yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of factors going in here. And I'm not exactly sure what to do at this point, but I do know that I only need 1 pair cinnamon doll. I have 4 counting my Coco one, 3 Proud Prowess dolls. I have a semi-real Proud Prowess head. I have the anime Proud Prowess head on a cyber body. And now I have the Pear Proud Prowess doll. So my thought is, like, do I want to keep just all of my Prowess dolls as being on classic bodies because I already have a bunch of Prowess dolls on classic bodies? Or do I want to go the route of getting anime in each color and making them into Prowess dolls? I don't know. But for right now, for this, because I can't make a decision, I'm going to go ahead and pull her. Because like I said, I know I definitely want to get rid of one Pear body. So I'm not 100% attached to her head. I think this is Liv. My brain my brain stopped and I can't remember her full name, but yeah, Liv. So I'm going to go ahead and pull her aside. Because like I said, I don't need to. All right, now we're going to go to, I have two boys. They're both cinnamon. This is obviously a custom one. I want to keep him because I love him to death. Maybe he can be a floating head and I can swap their heads with, oh my God, why did I forget his name? Suzaku? No. Is that right? I said that. I always flip the letters around and end up. Anyways, he's a licensed character doll. I really think he's cute because there's not. I just like his anime face a lot, so I'm gonna keep both of them for now. But because yeah, there's only two. If I was to stick with one of each, oh yeah. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we had 16 full dolls and 4, 5 floating heads. So this means I should be getting rid of 8 full dolls and 2 floating heads. But that is not how it works. And I just wait a minute. I have 3 cinnamon boys. This is a boy too. This is Gemini. I really want to keep him just because, yeah. But I'm thinking maybe I could sell the body. But again, now that Smart Doll has re-released boys, I'm not going to get much money out of him because now he comes with the Evolve body and things like that. So yeah, reselling is not going to be isn't going to work as well as it once did selling boys. I might get, the same amount money back that I would have spent on a Smart Doll boy body. But yeah, there's so many coming out that, yeah, I don't know. But I like his head, but maybe I will get rid of his body. Maybe the licensed doll and him will swap heads. That's something that I could do. This is ridiculously hard. All right. I'm supposed to downsize half. Although I didn't downsize half of the Milk Girls. So there is that. Let's do. All right. So I have Pear. I have 3 semi-real. This is. I kind of like her on this body, but I could put probably a different head on this and not have her head on here. I mean, she could be a floating head. Anyways. I'm going rambling. It's at 9 minutes. I'm supposed to keep this to 10, 15 minutes. All right. These 3, C2, Batgirl, Supergirl, those are all licensed dolls. I would like to definitely keep them because I like displaying them in their actual outfits because I just think it looks cool on the shelves. This is a custom doll, and I can't use her, I should say, I don't want to use her to swap heads and stuff around because she has the cyber like bust, and she has the 2 prosthetic legs, and she also has she has boy slim arms in, so she's kind of like all around custom, and her face up is custom. So she is a Chitose, but she was a blank head, and I had somebody do Stevie Foster do a Chitose face up, but I wanted cyber marks on it. So this was before we had the cyber bodies. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping her because she is a custom doll. She's one of my first cinnamon dolls that I had custom made, like face up. But yeah, I want to definitely keep her. She's not going anywhere. Oh, so that still leaves a bunch of dolls. I don't think I can realistically get rid of 8. We already got rid of 1 pair. And she's going to fall over. This is the other problem I have because down on the bottom shelf they're so overcrowded. I try to pull one doll out and it's like a domino effect. So this is what happens. All right, so I have 2 custom heads on the far end. I don't need both of them on a full body. So this is the first one. She's got like a cheetah face up. I love her. She's a GO5 head, so I love her. I love the face up. I just pulled her wig off. I love her face up. I love the custom like cheetah look that Catherine did, and I'm definitely keeping her head. I'm going to put her body aside to get rid of. This is actually one of the Evolve bodies. So I'm going to put her body to the side because I do have this custom girl who I love. Also, Catherine did this face up too. And I would like to keep her as a full doll because she's just fun and colorful. So, yep. And next we have, I should have remembered these names, and I'm not remembering these names. We have the vampire girl. I keep wanting to say Transcendence, but it's not Transcendence. I'll remember towards the end of the video, I'm sure. But yeah. So she is a anime head. I love her to death. She looks awesome in this outfit. I kind of want to keep her as a full doll. But I still have looking for trouble, I think is the name. I still have my Cyclops girl, which I would like to keep her as a full doll to go with all my Triclops dolls, but maybe I could swap her out. This is my Prowess doll. I have all my Prowess dolls on the top shelf. I would like to keep her as is. So I'm only left with like maybe getting rid of her because I don't need, maybe keeping her head and getting rid of her body. But then I also have these heads down here. This isn't working out. This is Strength GO4, which Strength is no longer available. So I may decide to sell her because since she's no longer available, maybe somebody would actually want her. So I'm going to put her head aside because I do have the body that I just put aside. I can sell her as a full doll. This is the Pride. This is the Pride head with like the acne like scars or acne marks. I think she's such a sweet doll and she's really cute, but I feel like if I decide to sell her that I probably could get her again if I decided to get her. So I'm going to pull her off the shelf. This is a custom head. This was also, I think, Catherine. Am I remembering her name right? It's Kit Kat Gaming something or another, Gaming Girl. Yeah, I think I got that right. But this is another head that she did, and I really, really love it. I don't mind having a floating head. But if I was to let go one of my custom heads, it might be that one. I could always stick my cheetah girl on the cyber body. So we have Looking for Trouble, the blue metal version. I think my with the semi-real dolls, and the reason why it's like I'm back and forth on them is that they all pretty much share the same head, the Go7 head, I think. Yeah, the Go7 head. They almost all kind of look similar to each other, so I mean her makeup is just incredible and it's very detailed, but I'm not 100% like, I guess, in love with her. I don't know. Maybe she can be a floating head and I can get rid of her body or use the body for the other head. So I'm going to do that for now. We're going to have her as a floating head, and then the body can go with one of the other heads I just pulled off. And like one of those questions, would I buy this again? So I want to say with this one, I may not have actually, if I thought about it, I may not have actually bought her again. So I kind of want to move her to a maybe pile, but I'm going to go ahead and put her on the table as a floating head. All right. We still didn't kind of like some room, two bodies, three heads. I feel like maybe I should let go of one of my boy dolls. I might have a cinnamon blank head. Maybe I could sell with one of the boy dolls or the boy bodies. But again, like I said, they're available now, so you can get boys at any time. All right. What shall I do? Okay, we're going to pull him, but I'm going to keep his head. I really like him. I really like him a lot. Maybe I should get rid of Suzaku if I get rid of Lelouch. But he's so cute. This is the hard part. And then like I have a floating head, and I like to see them with like wearing wigs and in full outfits and stuff. So this probably is not going to go well. Oh no, we're at 17 minutes. All right. Let's see here. Definitely want to keep her body because she's like a cyber body. Definitely keeping that, but maybe I could get rid of her head. I could have another floating head and get rid of another cinnamon body. I think that's all I can do with this. I only like 1, 2, 3, only 3, 4, counting the pair bodies. So that's 4 out of, what did I say at the beginning? 16? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16. So 4 out of 16. That is not 50%. That is not 50%. Maybe Prowess should be Supergirl. As far as their heads, I'm not like, I love their outfits, I think, more than actually their heads. But I'm a big comic book fan, so that's why I'm like stuck on those and wanting to keep those. Anyways. Yeah. I'm thinking I want to pull another cinnamon body off. Do, 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 do. I'm just going to leave them as is. So it failed, 50% failed. I just can't. I mean, C2 has a specific head that is to her, the licensed character. So does he. So, yeah. I mean, somebody may want her. So I might be able to sell her full set and get a little bit of money, but I just think she's really cute. I don't. Yeah. All right, we're done with cinnamon because it's been 20 minutes and that's crazy. I need to be faster than this. So I wasn't very successful on this round, but that's also because there's 2 prowess dolls and I really love my prowess dolls and I don't want to get rid of them. But if I did, I would maybe like have maybe the original prowess doll with the red whiskers. Maybe I would have her as a floating head. I'm not sure. So next up is going to be tea.